He's got all the dice. No dice. There's no dice. I'm going to turn the volume down a little bit. I might even forward it a little bit, but just while the no dice palaver's going on. I love the setup here. I love the resolution of the camera seems of both cameras seems good. The dual camera, I like the. I don't love the blue and the orange and white, but I love the Jeffrey Parker, the leather. Um, I like the dice cups. Prefer watching them than actually playing them because they're quite unwieldy. And I think they've got dice. I'm going to turn the volume up for maximum immersion. Max immersion. So yeah, top player Tariq. He's become quite the tournament organizer in London, the impresario, and Wayne, who sadly passed away some months ago. And I knew Wayne pretty well. I wasn't best of mates with him, but he was a genuinely lovely man. And I just saw this match and I thought, let's see what happens in it. I haven't seen it. And I want to see what happens. So it's from the 2018 UK Open, which was held in this abbey, beautiful old building, converted abbey. And Wayne is at the bottom playing. Tariq's at the bottom playing. Tariq is at the bottom playing the orange checkers. So the cameras are reversed, but we'll cope with that. And Wayne is actually playing the white checkers. So Wayne's got three bracelet thingies around his right arm. Okay, so let's carry on. So Wayne is at the top, actually. Let's remember that. And Tariq played open with a 5-3, fine, 5-2. 5-2. So 5-4, I'm not sure. I like to come out all the way. So now when he makes, or if he makes his 4-point or his 5-point, those two checkers are primed rather than there being only one checker behind a semi-prime. So even with a roll like this, had you run all the way, I hope Tariq doesn't continue talking too much. I like Tariq talking, but so anyway, yeah. So two checkers are prime, double 5. I'm starting to regret the choice of match. 1-2. Should have known. They are friends. They were friends too. What was this? Is that right? Why wouldn't you just clear the mid? So there's possibilities of stopping and thinking about the cube. I don't think I would have done so. Wayne's going to play 2 up, and then it seems natural to make the 4-point with the bottom board. That's fine. And Wayne's got basically a. Please, Tariq, don't talk. Don't just get the nervy talking. Slightly nervy. Okay, so this is difficult. This is a difficult play. I think you have to come up. You have to face the music. Wayne should definitely cube.
So that could be recorded as a big blunder.
No, this is a good cube, and this is probably an easy take. It might well have been played well. And because Wayne can't hit naturally, he's going to hit loose on the ace point. I mean, he can't hit naturally on the point he wanted to hit, which was the 5-point. He's going to hit. He has to hit. He's got a defensive point to fall back on. That's a very good roll. Of course, it does that, and there's no better 2. And Tariq's still trying to put poor Wayne off. Wayne just wants to come. Wayne just wants to play backgammon. Tariq wants to talk. I didn't see the. That seems okay. If he doesn't have to leave a shot. Yep, it seems okay. Double 5 is just going to come all the way round. I think Tariq will have a race lead now. Notice that Wayne hasn't really said anything in response to Tariq, just playing a genuine backgammon game. There for the game, for the love of the game. But we know Tariq loves the game too. So this is a difficult play. What you really want. Ah, sorry. I thought it was Tariq's 4-3. It wasn't a difficult play at all. So Tariq's definitely favourite, but he's not cubing favourite. Assuming he's up in the race, please stop talking. Assuming he's up in the race, he will just clear the midpoint. And if he is up in the race, it's one of his best rolls. So he's 54, 72, 89, 90. He's 40. He's got a small race lead. Wayne will be about 94, 95 before the roll. So here you just want to slot the point that you need to make. Nothing better. Prepare to make it. So Tariq should be having the recube in mind. Whether or not he sends it or not is a different matter, but he should definitely be thinking, it should be in his mind that he's holding the cube and therefore there will be points at which he has a proper recube. Yeah, that could be right. You want to make the 2 point. It's good to have a board. Wayne might be forced off. That's a good roll because it makes the full 6 point complement board. And now Tariq has realised, but he only takes a second. If you're ahead in the race, I think it's right to bring it in. If you're enough ahead in the race, this is awkward. It not necessary to make the ace point. Wayne won't be leaving. Well, he might be. If he's ahead, he's got a 6 point board to fall back on. I'm going to have to turn Tariq's volume down. So I'm not going to count the race because it's too boring. But it looks like he's going to have to run. It looks like it's going to... This looks like it wastes too much, even though the race is probably still close. I think I would run, far from sure. So Tariq's position hasn't improved since last go. I don't think. Wayne's rolled 11 pips. This is slightly awkward. Again, if he's up enough in the race, this would be a good number, but I think the race is close enough for it to be not such a great thing. See, no, oh no, yes, so of course, the double five wouldn't have played out from the 20. He wanted to block double five. That's a great roll. I don't think it's going to be enough for a cube next go. The race is very close. It really seems like Tariq's going to go for the full 2 hours of patter. I've not watched a full match of Tariq. I know that when I came up, he loves a little bit of chatter and banter, but I've not stayed for the full match to see whether he continues for the whole match. So let's see if he does, or bets on whether he continues. And looks like a pass. 4 men off versus 3 men off. I mean, it looks like a big pass to me. So Tariq manages to pull that one out the bag. And he goes 2-0 up. I'll be analysing this till the cows come home, that's for sure. It's the backgammon and the psychological analysis, the two-pronged approach. This is what I give the viewers, which is, the double header. So 2-0, it's on the score. I really don't like that the cameras are the wrong way round, that bugs me. So Tariq's playing the orange checkers. 6-5, still some chatter. Wayne's trying to slough it off with just a friendly smile, but what he's really saying is shut the bleep up. I assume any normal human being would feel the same way. 6-1, maybe a bit harsh, but trying to commentate here. So that looks like a boxes. It feels like a 2 point, but it could, I get these wrong, it could well be that. Yeah, there's some awkward coming in numbers, not that awkward. 5-1, 2-1, 4-3 I think will come in and come down to the 10 point. No need to give good sixes to to Wayne. So Wayne wants to roll a 2 or a 9. That'll do nicely. Tariq sees it immediately. And Tariq's favourite to roll a decent enough number that should hold off the cube. For 6.
You might as well not to point out your opponent's best moves.
4, 6. So this could come out, could make the 9. I think this is right. I made a play in a match, actually. It was the UK Masters, and I came out and left a double shot, and it was a big blunder. But I was worried about getting stuck. But maybe Wayne shouldn't be unduly worried about getting stuck. He can come up with a 4 here, or a 3, or a 2-1. He should just come up. He's ahead in the race. He can't really do anything constructive on the other side of the board. Even though Tariq's got some good combinations of 4s, 3s and 2s. That could do a couple of things. So for example, that could make the 8 point and then play behind to the 3 point. That's constructive because it prepares a point. You slots a point you want to make. The other play was to make the 3 point, but then you would have given up the 8 point. 3-2 is an awkward number. Is a difficult play. So you have to work out whether you're going to leave shots here by playing 2 down, or whether you're going to leave shots by playing 13-8, or whether you're just going to play 6-1. This could be the right play. I haven't thought it through yet. It seems reasonable to leave shots, so one of the shot leaving plays is probably my preference. So Tariq will now hit loose on the 4 point and make the 3 point, which is better than making the 4 point, I believe, because this is also possible, but now, well, now I think he would have kept the bar. Now, certainly thinking about a cube is fine. It could well be a bit early. Thinking about it is fine. Not taking any time at all. I can't see what the clock time is, but Tariq will not take very much time over everything. So it seems sensible to use this opportunity to come out from the 21 point, although there is some danger. Having said that, the danger is not great because there's a 4 point board. So Tariq sees it. He knows that he understands the position. This is going to be too good, but Tariq is going to... He's not. I was wrong. I believe Tariq knew that was too good. 1, because it's immensely too good, and 2, because he gave a look as if to suggest that he had sort of thought about it and forgone it. This could be right because of the getting the cash next go and not giving anything away. But I wouldn't have played it. I would have tried to, or at least I would have thought of it for a bit longer. This might well not be too good. It doesn't look like it can be taken if it's cubed, even at this score. I'm not sure what he's thinking. It's a common thing of players. They sort of don't know whether it's too good or not good enough, so they just don't cube. When they figure, oh, I don't know whether it's too good or not good enough, so I'm just not going to cube. But that logic doesn't hold, does it? Because well, this is what I'm trying to do. Funnily enough, the irony is the new voice of Backgammon, right here, right now, Belsize Park. So I don't know. He should not be just laughing and chat. He should be thinking hard and examining and hunkering down and using those wonderful glasses to look at the board and look into it and look into the fabric of the backgammon reality and see what's going on. He's missing cubes for sure. Now that Wayne has made the 5 point, it's a different proposition. If Tariq were to cube now, it would probably be an easy take. I don't even know if it's a cube. Again, I hate this just rolling without thinking. Definitely just playing 15-4, leaving no shots is fine. And now presumably Wayne's going to make the 4 points. Well, that changes things slightly. But I was about to say that Tariq's threats in the position were to clear the 13 point, and once he's done that, he's basically fairly assured of winning the game, and 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 as a consequence of that, he should be thinking about cubing before he clears the 13 point. But now Wayne has rolled a double 5 and gained so much in the race that Tariq's advantage has been whittled away somewhat, and Wayne might well not have Tariq might not be able to cube at all because of the loss of pip lead in the race.
Oh, you want to come in?
I don't know whether they're going to play legally. I'm not going to look at it. I'm not going to rewind. I assume they're going to play legally. So again, no think, just an immediate shake. 6-3. That definitely is illegal. Wishful thinking. 6-3 looks like a run, and so you can see that I don't even think Tariq's up in the race really. So I'm not saying he should have cubed, I'm saying he should have thought, which basically means like take a second to look at the position, because I think the brain needs about like a second or two just to sort of scan the position. The eyes send the messages to the brain, etc., etc. Unless he's got it all inside already, he's sort of just processing it, which is possible. So Wayne is favourite, looks like. Yep. This is the right play. Kind of want to fast forward this. This is not exciting. There's gonna be some. Hopefully they won't cock the dice. And this is nowhere near a cube, and this is not a think. This is where I would, if my opponent were thinking here, I would be wanting to punish him with a wrong think penalty. Incorrect think error on XG. I probably would have played 6-3 and 2-1 and not taken a man off. I might be wrong. This looks. Now this looks like definitely thinkable. 32. So Tariq's got 38 pips and Wayne's got 25, 31, 30, 34. Wayne's 4 pips up. Tariq's got a poor structure and Wayne's trailing in the match. So this is probably a cube on a sort of a basic analysis. I agree with the take. The take's easy. There's always the thing to know about being odd away or even away. So both Wayne and Tariq are both an odd number of points away from winning the match. So that means that winning a point puts them an even number of points away. And generally, it's better to be an even number of points away from winning the match. And so therefore, if you're an odd number of points away, and you cube and your opponent passes, giving you 1 point, you're an even number of points away, which is where you want to be. So your opponent is more inclined to take, not because he wants to give you 2, but because he doesn't want to just give you 1 point and let you get to even away. What happened there? Just a small detail. So this is one for the books. It looks like 6-4 because you obviously got 3 checkers left, so you're looking really to just take one man off and leave a position where you're going to take off the next 2 checkers with almost all of your numbers. So you look to do that here. That's the idea. I think it's the 1. This might be wrong because of things like 3-1, 3-2. But still, even if Wayne misses, Tariq won't have a recube, so that's always a bonus.
Any double will
I'll
do.
take. You say double?
Any double will do. 5-3, 2-1.
Okay, as I predicted, a pretty sort of
Bad form. Wishing you were
uninspiring. Bear-offs are not the most. I mean, they can be exciting when you're playing for big money, but as far as
That's been money.
analysing and looking at positions and how people think, they're not particularly interesting. Although there was a 5-2, a question, a decision, a decision over the 5-2, and I'm not sure whether Wayne got it right. So it's 2-all. We'll carry on. I won't tell you the cinema story that he told me when he went to the cinema with Tariq to see the Bond film. Oh, and I won't tell you that story. I might carry on later when there's a break in the action. So 5-4. I always split. Just I never do this. This is obviously going to be okay. Can't be that terrible, but we know it's not one of the recommended plays. And this is one of the reasons. Well, this is a tiny reason, but now you notice. I'll explain it in a second. Well, basically, he took the checker out that would have been given himself extra return hits on the blot on Wayne's blot on the 8-point. As it turned out, he didn't hit. He rolled a 5-6. Wayne's got a decent advantage, but not a cubing advantage, and he wants to hit the blot on the 16. He's got nothing better. It's a good number, but of course the problems with these numbers is that you give your opponent immediate opportunities to anchor, which is what your opponent wants to do. I think Tariq should do that here. I don't think he should hit the man on the 17. It seems right. Consolidates his position, allows him to start doing things on the other side of the board, which is what he wants to do. He wants to try and improve his offensive position, start building points and making a prime perhaps. So, often in backgammon we don't get many difficult decisions, and I would say that this is a tricky enough decision. It's not clear what the best play is. I would play this and then to the 4-point. I don't know why. I'd have to take a bit more time to see why. I mean, one of the obvious advantages is it slots a point you want to make. It plays with one blot. So what Tariq would ideally have liked to do here, because he has to leave shots, is try and duplicate some of the numbers that are good for Wayne on the other side of the ball. And we notice that Wayne needs a 6 to make the 4-point. So this looks like it's going to be the right play because it duplicates that 6. So Wayne wants a 6 and a 6. This is a very good shot, even though it doesn't manage to hit and cover. I think he should just get out under the gun, which is staying in the bar, and he should just take the risk of leaving those blots, because the upside is that he can get missed, and he's basically escaped his numbers. So this is definitely going to be a cube. I'm not sure if Wayne will. He does good. This is a difficult cube to take because Tariq hasn't developed any sort of offensive position, which would actually end up being his defense in this game. Interesting, he just takes. I don't think he's sort of considered it. I think he just feels it's a take. So the idea here is just to come around safely and try and gammon your opponent at the same time. So obviously, whilst Tariq stays out, Wayne's gammons are going to kind of creep up and up. That's not. It looks like it's a great number, but you'd rather make the 8-point as a landing point. So now the checkers from the mid are going to have to roll a 6 rather than a 5 to be able to land. It's as simple as that. So making the 7-point was obviously forced, but it wasn't the best point to have had to have made. And that's a very, very good number. He needs to switch here, I think. He needs to switch. He needs to switch because it does No, no, so this is very wrong in my opinion because it allows Tariq to just play freely. And one of the things Tariq can do, and I think he should do, is just come up to the 20 point and eschew the 5 point here. He needs to try and. So it's doing both really. It's coming up and developing his offensive position, although albeit not as quickly as um, as it would have been had he actually made the 5 point. Um, and Wayne's obviously pausing because he has to leave a shot, which is a bit of a shocker. He doesn't have to leave a shot. He can play two checkers in from the 7 point here, where the cursor is, and then play 62 twice. Which, I mean, it probably isn't the right play, but it's not insane. The reason it's not the right play is because Tariq's board is going to improve, so you don't want to delay the point when you're going to leave shots. You want to leave shots when Tariq's board is at its weakest, which is likely to be now. The only problem is that even when you do come down with 3 and you play 7-3, you still don't leave yourself with a position that's easy to bring home. So if Wayne will play the other, he'll play the other 3 to show you, or he won't. The other 4. If you can visualize it though before he plays it, you'll see that it's still not a fantastically easy position to bring home. So I would make this play, but I'm not. I'm just saying that it's not. It's not a guaranteed win for White because he's 1, 2, 3. He's 4 points away from Orange's defensive anchor on the 20 point. So that's a reasonable roll. He was favourite. Was that legal? Yeah, he was favourite not to leave a shot there. So that's fair enough. Tariq's unlikely to get gammoned, I think. So he's right to try and build his board and prepare to get a shot. He can play for getting a shot. That's a good roll because it puts a checker on a spare on the 6 point, so it gives Wayne alternative 5s, an alternative 4-1 and 3-2 should he need it. So this is not a big deal either way. Tariq could just come out to this he shouldn't do that, I don't think. Unless Wayne rolls a big double, he's unlikely to. There you go. So now this changes everything. Wayne's gammons go up to like 38 something percent, something like that. Maybe more. Maybe in the region of about 45. I'm having trouble assessing the gammon percentage here. It still seems to me to be below 50%. I think people often overestimate their gammon wins. I mean, you got to.
3 and 6.
Wayne's going to roll some 2s and stuff like that. I don't know why we just don't let that roll stand. Dice on checkers should stand. There's just, I don't see no sensible reason why you should just waste your time re-rolling. And again, we've got basically a boring position. I am gonna double speed this. Just remembered I can double speed this. I'm gonna double speed it right now. I want to triple speed it really. I was going to fast forward, but I didn't want to take the risk of overshooting. Okay, yeah. Okay, so it looks like Wayne's going to gammon him. Even on double speed, they're taking their time somehow. Okay. So he's going to need what, like double 2? Okay, yeah, of course. You bring one man. I didn't see that. Okay. Let's go. So 6-2. It just shows you how much luck there is in backgammon. I mean, to be like 2-all and then go 6-2 up. and it's all basically on a couple of rolls. Wayne got lucky. So now I will slow it back down to normal. What did we have? Well, we had a 5-1. What did he roll? He came out with a 5-1.
Lucky for me, you didn't know how to play that.
So double 6 points on both.
You didn't know how to play the 5-1.
Oh, he did roll a 5-1. He.
Yeah, I needed a double otherwise.
Okay, so this is nothing.
Oh, right.
Wait, absolutely right. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, Wayne. You gotta no, you gotta think about this. You're 6-2 up. You don't really want a game like this. The reason why is because you're not going to be able to get a cubing position for a very long time. Your cube point is way up in like the 72 sort of area. And when you play a blitzy game, your winning chances don't really go up that very much. What goes up are your gammon chances. So that's why when you're leading in a match, you tend to want to avoid blitzy positions, and so therefore the 6-5 was better played, in my opinion, just by running, and that's it. Nothing more to say. So he's got a good position. That's not to say you never cube a blitzy position, but even here, Tariq must have like 30% winning chances at least. This is a very easy take. If Wayne doesn't roll, I mean, I think it's a take. I mean, there's so much turnaround value here. I didn't get a chance to say it, so I qualify my easy take. There's a lot of turnaround value, but the double looked questionable to me. But sometimes I double late. Okay, so it's all going well. I mean, of course, if you get missed and everything, you're going to get G'd, and well, even when you do, you might still get G'd. And they're not particularly difficult positions to play. You just know that you carry on hitting loose, and then you cry when your opponent anchors, and then there's joy when they fan, especially after a thing like that where you couldn't hit them loose. So the 4 should always come from the 7 point, of course, and you can't afford to pick the checker up and go along to the 2 point because you've got so many checkers home that you're unlikely to be able to carry on hitting loose. So you have to try and leave it there in the hope of covering it. And again, this thing about cocking. Absolutely right. It looks like you can. The 3-2, of course, and the 1-2. There was, and double 2 were very good numbers. It's often surprising that you have a lot more punishing, crushing numbers than you think you do. Well, certainly. So he needs to split the back with the 3. So by elimination, he's going to play 8-3, cover with the man from the 8 points, and now he splits from the back. And of course, not coming in is severe gammon danger, and coming in is a complete turnaround. Again, a time wasted, just a waste of everyone's time. 5-3, so he has to just play big. He doesn't want to incur the risk of crunching, so this is what I would play. And he gives himself, okay, so this is the turnaround. So the play is 13-10 to just play 3 down. You can't hit because it leaves too many shots. It doesn't necessarily improve your position anyway. And that's definitely a joker. So there were only 11. Oh, there were 11 numbers. That's not insignificant, but if you're in Tariq's position here, holding a 2 cube, you're quite happy right now. You're still fairly happy. You've got some decent rolls. You've got 5-1, 6-1. You're gonna have to hit. You're gonna have to play safe. I don't know what they're laughing and joking. This is serious. This is backgammon. What are they laughing about? Okay, so that's a very good number. And Tariq is still happy with this position, holding the cube. Of course, you're going to be delighted. He can't get the man on the. Oh yeah, he can make the man safe, but you don't. You definitely do not want to play the two men out from the board because then you'll be giving up your possibility of anchoring, which you will of coming back in to Wayne's home board, which you will certainly or very likely need in the future. So the only play that makes sense is playing 3 down, and then playing eight to 6 because you haven't got a better. I see what the problem is. So this is not absurd, but then it doesn't. Well, this is absurd. I mean, this has got to be an enormous blunder. Now he's got no. He's just relinquished his defence, so Wayne will just come out. He'll just come out from the 21 point. I don't see why he would do that. Although that's not. Again. I mean, I'm not sure because it dupes threes. Generally, you want to come out from the back, but could be instances where you don't. I think I would make this play. It seems sensible to me. So he can double hit, or he can hit from the 18 point here. And this is just tricky. He's put, you never really see 7 men on the 6 point. And often backgammon is a game of pattern recognition and not just brute calculation. So now he's put himself in a position where he's forced to make a brute calculation. No disrespect to the man's ability, but I don't think he's going to calculate this mathematically or arithmetically. Like 95% of players, we're just looking at what it looks like and the feel of it. This seems right, but what I'm saying is now because there are 7 checkers on the 6 point, it changes everything. It changes the patterns. But it's a very good result for Tariq. If he can, there are numbers that kind of let him just about hang on. So Wayne should just split, I think, and play 24-22. No reason to, not reason to slot the 5. Definitely a reason to come up to the 22. And now, not only is this tricky to play, but if he does hit, which I think he has to do, so he has to point on the ace, then there are several numbers that are going to put him in the air, and he hasn't got his anchor. So if he does this, then it makes complete sense to do this. And now there are 12, 14 hitting numbers, and Tariq hasn't got his anchor anymore. 1, 2, and this is also, these are quite tricky, these plays. It looks like you need to pick this man up because there's no immediate prospect of hitting, and Tariq's got a 3-point board. Okay, I'm not sure whether that's right, whether it was right to split the 15 point. And what have we got? Again, my instinct is just to come from the back. That's where you want to get the rearmost checkers round before any of the other checkers. There doesn't seem to be much gain from breaking the 15 point. And so if you break the, well, I don't see what. There is gain. Excuse me. It's, for example, if Tariq comes in with a 5, then this gives Wayne extra numbers to hit Tariq loose on the 5 point. So this could well be the right play. That's a particular weakness of my game. So of course these are, well, if he plays that 6, then he's not gonna bring it into the 5 point and volunteer 5s. So Wayne, yeah, it's slightly unpleasant for Wayne. He still has some work to do. He still has situations where Tariq comes in and the game turns around brutally. So this just seems very, very obvious. I think Wayne's just checking. I wonder if Tariq's thinking that he hasn't seen the obvious play. and that's why Tariq isn't saying anything. I'm not sure what Wayne would be thinking here. So he didn't want to come out with the 2-1, so that suggests that he sees value in staying back somehow, or he is looking at the maximizing the numbers that hit loose. If I mean, this just it could be right. It could be right. It's just too difficult for me to. I mean, but now Wayne's still got all. He gives himself all this work to do. Like now he has to just bring these checkers round from the 17-point round when they could have been both on the 13-point. But then, having said that, when you put them on the 13, then they're being defended by two anchors. Yeah, Tariq is getting unlucky, and Wayne. It's deceptively. These games have deceptively a lot of juice in them still for the defensive side. And again, this idea of staying back, it could be right, but you generally want to get the rearmost checkers forward. Probably just 3-1. It's a minor detail. Now double 6 would leave a shot. Double 5 would be awkward. Tariq sees that. 4-1. I mean, yeah, Wayne's got very lucky. I'm not saying he's played it badly. I'm just saying that this is notion that, you know, really competent players, it's almost like they don't appreciate that some plays are really, really difficult, and to be able just to think about them for 40 seconds to try and work them out isn't enough, and you really need to give them like a lot longer until you've actually seen some sort of feature in the position which pushes you towards one play. And I've noticed that in some players, a lot of players, they don't feel that there is ever a play that needs to be thought about for that long, but of course there can be. Having said that, if you don't care and you're just playing for fun and just the enjoyment of shaking the dice, and maybe if you get a bit lucky, then you'll win the tournament, then, you know, that doesn't apply to you, and that's fine. That's all very well. But if you're trying to sort of be a purist and play well, some positions are just really, really difficult, and thinking for 45 seconds isn't going to cut the mustard. So, is this going to be a save? A backdoor save?
Take a photo.
That's Peter. Peter in the back. Okay, that raised a smile from me, curmudgeonly me. Someone's the official photographer's in. That's Peter Bennett in the background, just checking the lay of the lie of the land. So looks like a favourite to save it. I'm not carrying on after this game because I've had more than enough, and I'll come back for the next round. You know, in a couple of days I'll post something. It's nice to have a little bit of photography in backgammon. But all good-natured. Tariq's really nice, very, very good-natured, and makes it fun to play against him. And Wayne is a very funny man. 2-1 does save it. Okay, so thanks for watching. I'm going to come back to this a couple of days. So Wayne is leading 8-2. He's a big favourite. I really don't know who wins this. I genuinely don't know. So it's always nice for me to watch. And I hope you got something out of this. And yeah, tune in for part 2 in a couple of days coming. Bye.